Hello there, Trailblazer users. This walkthrough is going to focus on the SYBUNT, or identifying those individuals who gave some year, but unfortunately not this year. Now, this query will always begin in contacts, which is a customizable label. It could appear as donors, voters, members, or whatever your database administrator has chosen to utilize. But you can always landmark this because it will appear above your addresses and your households. So I'll go ahead and open up the contacts component. And before we begin into the part to query on, I do want to highlight these two columns that I've added to my format, just for this particular exercise. The very first one is going to identify all gifts that a person has given prior to 2022, and the second will identify total giving in the year 2022. So as we go through this search, we're going to start by running a query for everyone who's given prior to 2022, and we're going to run a search at that point. And it will identify or populate every cell here with a gift amount. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll tap on the Contribute tab, and the very first thing we need to do here is tap on the Connect or Disconnect unit to turn this on. Once we do that, we can now make edits to these fields to query for information. Now, in this particular case, I just want to identify everyone that's given prior to the year 2022. So I don't need to put in a start date. I'll actually leave this empty so that it can go back to the beginning of time. But I do need to put in an end date. So I'll put in December 31st of 2021. And now I'll go ahead and run my search. So I'm going to get 6,579 records. Now I should point out it isn't necessary to run your search at this point. You can enter every part of the query before running the search. However, just to show you that this search does work, I think it's worthwhile for me to have created those columns and actually show you that it is functioning as intended. So what we'll find here then is that this very first column is all giving prior to 2022. We should see nothing but dollar amounts. If you do see a $0 amount in there, then that means that that individual only gave an in-kind donation or a non-monetary gift, and you can always hop into their record to verify that, but that's what would cause a $0 amount to appear here. The $0 amounts over on the right-hand side certainly could mean the same, but in most cases, what we're looking for are these individuals who did not give it all this year. So we want to finish this search off and have all the items here populated and all of the items here with zeros, so we know who to target for additional giving. Now we need to go ahead and add the second part of that query. So we'll go back up just to the right of our little Connect and Disconnect Search Unit button. We've got this little blue and white button that looks much like a play button for a DVD or a Blu-ray player. Once I tap on this, this will expose a bunch of new icons, and the very first one is this little orange and white ampersand icon. This is the AND statement, or what we're going to use to narrow our search. Because right now what we've got is everybody who's given prior to 2022, but we want to whittle this down to individuals that haven't given in 2022. So we're going to tap on that. And so now we'll have two Contribute tabs here. One, again, represents everyone who gave prior to 2022, and this next one will now configure to represent the year 2022. So we'll start by putting in January 1st of 2022, and then we'll close this out with December 31st of 2022. Now, of course, you can update these to relevant years. I'm recording this clearly in 2022, but in 2023, 2024, and so on, you would just adjust the dates to meet your needs. Now, at this point, if I were to run the search, what we're going to find is we will get in the left-hand column here, or the total giving prior to 2022, we're going to have individuals that gave, so that will all have dollar amounts. But in the right-hand column, the people that gave in 2022 are also going to have dollars here. And that's because at this point, we've asked for everybody who gave prior, and then everyone who did give this year. So we've got one more step to complete this task. And that again will bring us down these advanced icons. And we're going to find this activate, inactivate, not condition, or the exclusion button. At present, this looks like a little index card with a green plus sign in front of it. But if I tap on it, it's going to change that green plus sign to a red X, which means we are now excluding this group. So instead of looking for the people who gave this year, we want to toss those out. And so our end result will have everyone that gave in the years prior, but you'll see that our 2022 column is going to be completely zeroed out. And so now we've identified all of these people that we can lean on that have given in the past and may be willing to give again.